You might be knowing that only 40,000 students appeared for JEE advanced exam, out of which 12,000 students would be selected. அதில் ஏதோ ஆல் இண்டியா ரேங்க் டாப் 5ல வந்த ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸே ஐஐடி சூஸ் பண்ணாமல் வேற எதுக்கோ போயிட்டான்ற மாதிரி நியூஸ் பார்த்தேன். ஃபுல்லாக பார்க்கல, ஜஸ்ட் செலக்ட் கேள்விப்பட்டேன். Okay, but now we will come to the second question. G is a function whose domain contains domains contains elements 5, 6, 7, 8 and codomain contains elements 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we give 5 as an input, we get 4 as an output. 6 is going as an input means we receive 3. Again, if you observe it, when we give 7 as an input, we are getting 4. So you just observe it, students. Two inputs, two different inputs, 5, 7 produces the same output 4. Hence it is many one function. Right or wrong, students? When it is many one function, it is not bijective. When it is not bijective, it cannot be inverted. Students, are you clear with the explanation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, students. Divya, are you there?
Sir, yes, sir.
Divya, ma, next question explain pannuma. If you know, if you don't know, no problem. Try to explain this, whether it can be inverted or not. Third question. Divya?
Sir, yes,
Divya,
sir.
are you
Past
there?
question.
Okay, ma. Divya, may I explain or can you explain? Divya?
Sir, you will just explain.
அதை சொல்றதுக்கு தான் இவ்வளவு நேரம் ஆச்சா உனக்கு? Okay, students, h is a function. For that function, domain set consists of 2, 3, 4, 5 and codomain set consists of elements 7, 9, 11 and 13. And when 2 is given as an input, the function h produces the output 7. When 3 is given as an input, 9 is produced as an output. When 4 is given as an input, 11 is produced as an output. When 5 is given, 13 is produced as an output. So if you observe the set of ordered pairs in which the second element 7, 9, 11, 13, these 7, 9, 11, 13 forms range. If you compare it with codomain is equal to range. Hence it is onto function. Students, are you clear with the explanation?
Yes,
Students,
sir.
are you clear?
Yes, sir.
And then
Yes, sir.
so we have found that codomain is equal to range, and 2 produces different output, 3 produces different output, 4 produces different output, 5 produces different outputs. Hence no image has more than one pre-image. So all the inputs produce different outputs. So we can say that it is 1-1 function. Since it is 1-1 and onto, it is bijective. When it is bijective, it can be inverted. So now we will look at the solution. For the first question we have said it is not 1-1, hence it does not have an inverse function. For the second question we have seen that 5 and 7 produces the same output 4, hence it is not 1-1, hence the function does not have inverse. For the third question we have seen that which is 1-1 as well as onto, hence h has an inverse. Students, are you clear with the explanation of these 3 questions?
Yes.
Students, please study
Yes,
for
sir.
home
Yes, sir.
properly.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, students. Now we move on to the next question. Next question is, show that the function from the set closed bracket -1 to +1. It means that -1 and +1 is included, and all the real number that exists between -1 and +1 is also should be taken into consideration, and it goes to set of all real numbers. Hence domain is -1 to +1 with closed bracket, and all the real numbers between -1 and +1 should be taken into consideration. It means that all those numbers should be given as an input, and the codomain is equal to range. and given by the function given by x divided by x plus 2 is 1 1. Find the inverse of this when find the inverse of the function f of x is equal to x divided by x plus 2, and its codomain is equal to -1 to +1, and codomain is equal to range of f. They have very clearly given that it is codomain is equal to range of f. Now we need to prove that this function is 1 1 function. You know that in order to prove it is 1 1 function, we will take two different inputs that will be given as an output, and we will start with an assumption that those two outputs are same. When our assumption is the inputs to be same, that is what start with the assumption here, f of x is equal to f of y. So, and they say that these two outputs are same. Hence, in place of x, we are substituting x. In place of y, sorry, we are giving y as an input. So in place of x, we have to put y. So we get this expression. And when we do cross multiplication, and then when we simplify it, we get x is equal to y. That means two different inputs are also same when two different outputs are same. Hence it is 1 1 function. That is what we are expected to prove. So we proved it. Are you clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Students, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, students. Now we need to find out the inverse of. Thank you, students. Thanks for the response. Now we need to find out the inverse of the function f, which whose domain is -1 to +1, and codomain is equal to range. If we want to find out inverse of this function, means range of the first function becomes the input of the inverse function. Students, do you remember it? If it is inverse function, means 1 minute, students, I will write it and explain it to you. Students, you know that 1 minute. Inverse function means f of x. In case inverse function means this is domain, this is equal to range, right? This output produced by f of x is given as an input for f dash of x, right? Actually here y will come as an input, right? It will again produce this. So f of x, inverse of f of x, inverse of f of x is equal to f dash of x. Actually input should be denoted as x only. Here the y, y1, y2, y3 comes as an input, and in terms, if we convert this in terms of input, we will write it as f of f inverse of x. Okay, students, f inverse of x, and what is it? Domain of f of x becomes range of f of x. Range of f inverse of x. Students, are you clear? Students,
Sir.
do you understand this?
Yes,
And
sir.
then range of f of x is equal to domain of f inverse of x. In this problem, what we have seen is f is a function from closed interval -1 to +1 and range of f. This is for our function. Now if we want to find out f inverse of x, the range of this function will become its domain. So range of f from and its range will be equal to codomain -1 comma +1. Students, are you clear till now? Students, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Up to this. And
Sir.
then, thank you, students. Now f of x is equal to x divided by x plus 2. I think this is the question they have given. What is it? X divided by, you observe it, x divided by x plus 2. right? So now we need to find out inverse. So let us assume f of x is equal to y. So x divided by x plus 2. Here what we need to do is we need to find out x value in terms of y. So I am just cross multiplying it. I am getting y into x plus 2 is equal to x, from which we can say yx plus 2y is equal to x, and we want all x terms to one side. So what we can do is we can keep 2y in the left hand side, x minus yx, right students? I write the next step here. Then we have to take, because our aim is to calculate x value, hence I am taking x as common from the right hand side. So it becomes 1 minus y, right students? So 2y divided by 1 minus y is equal to x. Students, do you understand this? This is
Yes,
equal
sir.
to f inverse of x, because here if you observe it, the f of x produces the output y, right? That y is given as an input for the next function, and it produces the final output x, that is domain of x. Are you clear students? So
Yes, sir.
2y divided by 1 minus y is equal to x. But normally, when function is denoted, output should be denoted as y and input should be denoted as x. Hence, sorry students, actually here we have written inverse function. This is an inverse function and we are writing it in terms of f of x. This y denotes the output of f of x. This x denotes the input of f of x. So we have written the inverse function with respect to f of x. But if we want to write the same inverse function without f of x influence, means all input should be written in terms of x and output should be denoted as y. So the f inverse function, f inverse, now I am writing it just as a function, not with respect to f of x. So in place of in place of y, I should write this x1 minus x. In place of y, I have to substitute x, and in place of x, I should write y. So the f inverse function is equal to y, and which is 2x divided by 1 minus x. Students, do you understand what I say? Here
Yes,
input
sir.
and outputs are written in terms of f of x, right? But here I am writing considering this f inverse of x alone. I am not considering this. Are you clear? For example, students, in case 2x is f of x, means you know that its f inverse x is equal to 2 divided by x, right or wrong? 2 divided by x. When you multiply the input by 2, if you want the same input, means inverse function, means it has to be divided by 2. Sorry, x divided by 2, students. Are you clear? Students, do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Inverse means opposite function. Here, the input is multiplied by 2. The opposite function is inverse. The input should be divided by 2. Are you clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Students, are you clear? And 1 minute, students. Since I do not have the space, I will write it in the next one. So, in case 2x is a function f of x, means if its opposite, in f inverse of x will be equal to x divided by 2. You just consider this, x is given as an input and it is 2 of x, it comes as y. But here, y divided by 2 gives us the same input. But this f inverse function is written in terms of y, that means in terms of this f of x. But if you consider this function separately, the input should be denoted as x and it should be divided by 2. This is f inverse x. Are you clear, students? Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
The same f inverse can also be written as y by 2, but here this y by 2 is written in terms of this f of x. But this f inverse of x is written using the input should be denoted as x and output should be denoted as y. Are you clear, students? Are you clear or
Yes, sir.
not? Now you just look at the
Yes, sir.
solution. Thank you, students. Now you just observe it. F is 1 1 function. It is clear that f is onto, therefore f closed bracket minus 1 to plus 1 range of f is 1 1 and onto, therefore it is inverse of the function exist. Let g is the inverse function range of f. Students, they say that g is the f inverse function. Given a g be the inverse of f and its domain is equal to range of this function. Students, are you clear? Range of f becomes the domain of the inverse function. Students, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
And this domain becomes its range. Be the inverse of f. Y is an arbitrary of range of f. Since f is equal to this, we have, you just observe the students, whatever we calculated will come. See, x is equal to 2y divided by 1 minus y. This is what we got, g of y. And then what they did is, they are calculating g circle f also in order to prove that it is I. Students, 1 minute students. They are doing some extra step. Oh, where is it? Students, they calculated g of y is equal to 2y divided by 1 by y. That is what we also calculated. After this, what they do is, they are just verifying it whether it produces identity function. 1 minute students, I will tell you why they use that. You just observe it, students. In this function, I am giving 4 as an input and f of x is equal to 2x means it produces the output 8. This 8 is given as an input for x divided by 2. Actually, this is y. This is output, but this is the input for the second function. Hence, this 8 is denoted as x. So again, it produces 4. Do you understand this, students? Again, it produces 4. So initial input is 4 and the final output is 4. Hence, the inverse function act as identity function. That is combination of inverse and function and its inverse acts as an identity. That is, first x is given as an input for f, and then this f of x is given as an input for function g. It produces the initial output. Do you understand? Initial input. Students, are you clear? This g denotes
Yes,
f inverse of x. X is given as an input for f, and this f of x is given as an input for f inverse. Means finally we get the in output which is equal to initial input. Students, are you clear? That's why they are verifying whether they are getting identity or not. Just observe the students here. Here x is equal to 2y divided by 1 minus y, right? X is given, you observe it, x is given as an input for f of function f. The output produced by f of x is given as an input for function g. So they substituted here. In place of y, they are substituting x divided by x plus 2. Again, in 1 minus, in place of y, they are substituting x divided by x plus 8. When they simplify it, they are getting x as an output. You just check it, students. Initially, they gave x as an input, and finally, g circle f of x also produces the initial input as a final output. Are you clear, students? Are you clear?
Yes,
And
sir.
then, thank you, students. Now they take y as an input, which is given as the inverse function first. Finally, they give it to the function f. So they must get y finally. See, finally they got y. And g circle f inverse also identity function. F circle g inverse also identity function. Hence it is invertible. The final answer is f inverse of y is equal to 2y divided by y minus 1. Students, are you clear? Students, are you clear with the explanation? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, students. Now we will solve the next problem. Consider the function f from set of all real numbers to set of all real numbers given by f of x is equal to 4x plus 3. 4x plus 3 means linear equation in one variable. Sorry, linear equation in two variable. In place of f of x, we can put y. Hence, it is linear equation in two variable. You know that linear equation two variables means we are talking about straight line. Straight line means it is 1 1 and onto. Hence, it can be inverted. Students, you observe it. It is 1 1. They proved it. and then they are proving it is on 2. 1 minute, students. Here they proved it is on 2. So it is bijective, hence inverse exists. Students, do you understand this? F inverse exists.
Yes, sir.
As usual, they are calculating it. Students, are you clear? Let us take
Yes,
this
sir.
4x plus 1 minute.
Yes,
F
sir.
of x is equal to 4x plus 3. I will write it and show you. Here, f of x is equal to 4x plus 3. You know that f of x can be written as y. So, the function is, sorry students, we will try to write its inverse function. 4x plus 3 is equal to y. In order to find out inverse function, we will try to find out x value. So 4x is equal to y minus 3. X is equal to y minus 3 divided by 4. Are you clear, students? So f of x is here, that is 4x plus 3. Here output comes as y. So here y minus 3 divided by 4. This is f of x means this is f inverse. But in terms of y, students, are you clear? In terms of y, it produces the output x, which is the input. Are you clear, students? Students, are you
Yes,
clear?
sir.
Now we will try to find out, let us say,
Yes,
1
sir.
minute y is equal to inverse as a normal inverse of x1. So in this we find out f circle g of y. We will get y as an output, final output, because we give initial input as y. When we give initial input as y, if it is g is the g's inverse function is f means finally it must give I of y. We will check it here y g of y. So g of y means y is given as an input. G of y means as per this concept this one. Y minus 3 divided by 4 is given as an input for f. Students, are you clear? Are you clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Students, please reply.
Yes, sir.
So, in place of
Yes,
f, we are, sorry, for the function f, we are giving y minus 3 divided by 4 plus 3, 4, 4 will get cancelled. So, y minus 3 plus 3, which is equal to y, that is what we need to calculate. Are you clear, students? Now we
Yes, sir.
calculated f circle g of y. Here we will calculate g circle f of x. X is the input given to the function. The output produced by f of x is given as an input for y. The initial input is x. Hence, the final output should also be x. Then only we can prove that, or verify that f and g are inverse to each other. So, when function f of x will be equal to g circle f of x. So f of x produces the output 4x plus 3, and it is given as an input for this function g. So in place of y, we must substitute 4x plus 3 and then minus 3 divided by 4, plus 3 minus 3 will get cancelled, and then we get 4x divided by 4. When we cancel it, we are getting x. That is identity function. Are you clear, students? Students, are you
Yes,
clear?
sir.
That is what they have done here. They calculated onto function. See, students, they have substituted what we did. F of x is given as an input for g, right? They finally got x. Similarly, f circle g of y. G of y is given as an input, and they got f circle g, and g circle f produces an identity relation. Hence, this is the inverse function. Students, are you clear with the explanation?
Yes, sir.
Students, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now eighth question. Consider the function f starts from set of all real numbers. The students, please observe, it is r plus. R plus means where r plus is a set of all non-negative real numbers. Are you clear, students? When they say plus means non-negative real
Yes,
number.
sir.
Are you clear? And its codomain is closed bracket 4 comma infinite, and f of x is equal to x square plus 4. Show that f is invertible with inverse f dash of f inverse of given by f, or this. Students, here they have given that the codomain consists of 4 to plus infinite. It means that they are taking only positive values. Are you clear, students? 4 to plus infinite. Students, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Now we need to check that whether it is 1, 1 or 2, because they are expecting us to show that f is invertible. F is invertible means we must prove that it is bijective function. Bijective function means it is 1, 1 and on 2. So you know that we have to take f of x is equal to f of y, and then we simplify it. X is equal to y, because here we are considering only non-negative real numbers. Are you clear, students? Here we are not taking negative real numbers, we are considering only positive real number. That's why x square plus 4 is invertible, otherwise it is not invertible. Students, 1 minute, I will show it here. Students, you just observe it is non-negative means actually x square plus 4 means it will come like this only. Sorry. X square plus 4 means it will come like this. Here you can give negative numbers, real numbers as an input, and you will get corresponding output. But here the input set is R plus. It means non-negative real numbers are given as an input. Non-negative real number is given as an input means the curve will be negative side of the x we cannot go, because negative numbers should not be given as an input. Students, are you clear? Are you clear, students?
Yes, sir.
When input, okay, non-negative real number means 0 can be given as an input. When 0 is given as an input for x square plus 4, and output will be 4. And for 1 square is 1, 5. So only graph will be in this first quadrant. It will not go in the second quadrant. If you observe it, each input produces one output only. Are you clear, students? That's why it
Yes,
is
sir.
1, 1 function. Are you clear? Students, are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
all the, thank you, students. Thanks for the response. All the non-negative real number can be given as an input. Non-negative real number, it produces different outputs. Hence, it is onto function, because they have given that the codomain is equal to, codomain is given in the question as closed bracket 4 comma infinite, because it starts with 4. Because if we give x value as 0 means it produces 4. It goes up to infinite. Students, are you clear? Hence, codomain is equal to range. That's why it is invertible. Are you clear? Please
Yes, sir.
reply, students. Others,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
thank you, students. Thanks for the response, students. Students, you just observe one function x square is equal to y, but since it is non-negative real number, we cannot take plus or minus y. We have to take only plus x as well as plus y, because non-negative real number is given as an input and positive numbers is received as an output. 4 to infinite, hence positive. So we are considering only plus x plus y. Students, are you clear? Students, are you
Yes, sir.
clear? And for onto function, you know that we have to calculate x value. Y is equal to x square plus 4 means this plus 4 has been transferred to opposite side as minus 4. And then to find out x, they have calculated y minus 4. You know that for square root, it always produces greater than or equal to 0. Right or wrong, students? Students?
Yes, sir.
Square root always produces inside the square root, it produces plus only, because here y belongs to plus 4 to infinite. Right or wrong? So when you substitute, it starts with 4. Y value starts with 4 here. If you substitute 4 here, square root of 0 will come, which will be 0. And after that, if you give 5, 6, 7, it will be positive number. That's why they say that x is equal to square root of 5 minus 4 is greater than or equal to 0. Right? They have given this in f of x and they are getting this y. Hence it is 1, 1 and on 2 and f inverse exists. You know how to calculate f inverse. See the students, they are proving it with identity function as well. Are you clear, students? Students,
sir.
are you clear? So, next problem is similar to it. Again, non-negative real numbers are given and the input is minus 5 to, sorry, output is minus 5 to plus infinite. We know that it is invertible. Right? The same procedure should be adapted. Students, you just observe it. This is different model question. So f of x is equal to 9x square plus 6x minus 5. Right or wrong, students? They are bringing this minus y to the opposite side, right? And they are taking minus 5 plus y as constant. Our aim is to calculate x in terms of y. Right or wrong, students? So it is a quadratic equation in x. In order to find out x, they are using the formula minus b plus or minus root over of b square minus 4ac. Students, are you clear? Students, are you
Yes, sir.
clear or not? Is it
Sir, yes.
important to see? Okay, they calculated x value, right or wrong here. They calculated x value, right? Range is minus 5 to plus infinite. And then they are checking with identity function. Are you clear? This is the same concept of whatever we learned. Okay? F has unique. If f is a function from set x to set y be an invertible function, show that f has unique inverse. தமிழ்ல ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷனுக்கு ஒரே ஒரு இன்வர்ஸ் ஃபங்க்ஷன் தான் இருக்க முடியும். It cannot have two different functions. For that only they proved it. If you look at this, you can very easily understand it. Okay, students, are you clear? And again, this is also easy question. F inverse of inverse is equal to f only. They are expecting us to find f inverse and then you need to prove that f inverse அதுக்கு நீங்க inverse கண்டுபிடிக்கிற மாதிரி again it will come as f only. I think with this we completed this exercise. Exercise 1.3 is over. Whatever we discussed till now, again and again the same concept comes. Again, f inverse is. Students, can you solve the remaining problem on your own?
Okay,
Students,
sir.
please reply. Almost
Yes, sir.
same figure comes again. Okay, students, and you. Students, you have class at 1 o'clock. Okay. Students.
Okay, sir.
With this, I am completing the session. Study well. Okay, don't waste the time. Okay, thank you, students. Thanks for the cooperation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.